Hi, my name is Dr. Laura Seiferling, and I'm going to give a brief lecture on behavioral momentum. Behavioral momentum is defined as the tendency for behavior to persist following a change in environmental conditions. In the ABA world, we often consider this to be a behavioral strategy that entails making requests that are easy for a client before making requests that are more challenging. So if I'm working with a client and I'm going to be teaching a new, perhaps more challenging skill, before I place the demand for the client to perform the new skill, I'm going to ask the client to exhibit a number of mastered skills. But where did this concept come from? Mace et al. In 1988 published one of the first studies examining the use of behavioral momentum to treat noncompliance. The behavioral momentum approach was derived from a series of basic operant research studies. Nevin did quite a bit of work in this area. And what Nevin found was that behavior maintained at steady states by either ratio or interval schedules of reinforcement has been shown to persist over time following a change in reinforcement conditions. This resistance to change in the face of new environmental contingencies is known as response strength. And behavior controlled by a multiple schedule will be more resistant to change during the schedule component that has a relatively higher rate of reinforcement. Thus, a relatively higher rate of reinforcement will result in a relatively greater resistance to change. Nevin et al. In 1983 conceptualized a behavior's resistance to change as similar to the momentum of objects in motion as described by Newton's first law of motion. So, Mace decided to conduct a study on noncompliance using behavioral momentum. And what they did is they implemented a high probability command sequence to indirectly manipulate the rate of reinforcement to establish what appears to be momentum of compliant behavior when an individual is asked to perform a task with a low probability of compliance. And in their procedure, they presented 3 to 4 high probability or high P commands immediately prior to each low probability, low P commands. And what they found was that the antecedent high probability command sequence resulted in increased compliance and decreased compliance latency and task duration. Here are some references. There has been a lot of research done in this area since this original study by Mace in 1988.